Welcome back to another video, Rom. Today's the 1st of May, so it's time to continue my series where I talk about all the games that I played for the previous month. I played 4 games, I think, this month, or 5 games, including a DLC. As always, we'll start with games that actually released during the month that I played them. The first game being Stellar Blade. Now, if you've been on Twitter, you would have seen some of the controversy that this game has caused. Most of it is completely pointless, whether it be about the main character's designs and just some people having problems with it for whatever reason. Other people complaining that certain outfits in the game were changed from the demo or the reveal trailers or whatever it was, complaining that certain outfits were less revealing than they were previously seen at some other point. There's still outfits like this in the game right now. Is this not enough for you? Most of the issues people were complaining about online were just so dumb. I haven't finished the game yet because it only just came out a few days ago, but I have played a decent chunk of it, and it's good. Like, the combat is really satisfying. When you pull off a perfect parry or a perfect dodge, some of the combos that you can perform as well, and I'm by no means good at the game or these kinds of games. I imagine people that are good at this type of game can pull off some really amazing things. The difficulty feels good as well. I'm playing on normal mode, and again, as someone that is not that great at the game, it is taking me a couple attempts to beat bosses here and there, but there's campsites everywhere. There's shops at the campsites where you can restock on healing items. It does come at the cost of respawning all the enemies in the area, but it's not really a problem. So the combat's great, the gameplay's great, the difficulty is, the soundtrack is amazing. I think the only thing the game is being criticized for really is the story not being anything special. Again, I've not finished the game, I've not made it anywhere through, but the story is apparently the thing that is just okay, and that if there is ever a sequel, that's the thing that they should work on. But that's all I can really say about the game right now, because I'm not that far into it. I'm only a few hours into the game. So far, it's really good. The next game on the list that actually released this month in April wasn't a full game, but it was the final DLC for Final Fantasy 16, the Leviathan DLC. Now, this was... everyone knew that this was going to happen when they played the original game when it released last year. It was mentioned in the base game, but it wasn't in it at all. So it was pretty clear that there was going to be a DLC at some point, and that finally released in April. And I really enjoyed it. It was really just more FF16 at the end of the day. The main portion of the DLC, the story part, wasn't that long, but it did come with an amazing icon fight against Leviathan. A pretty difficult icon fight as well. It had quite a strong damage check. I think it was in phase 2. There was one part where you could not drop your damage. You could not mess around with your abilities. You had to go full on. I'm playing on Final Fantasy mode as well, which I did that last year when I played the base game. And so when I did the DLC, it just put me in on that mode. I don't know if that changed the damage check or not, but it was a pretty tough damage check. And I had to restart a good few times before I actually learned how to dodge everything. The funniest part is that the dominant of Leviathan is a literal baby. So I was getting demolished by a fucking baby the whole time. But that whole main scenario of the DLC was great. Leviathan's fight was amazing, one of my favorite icon fights. Then you obviously get to use his abilities, so the DLC comes with a brand new set of icon abilities that you can use to tackle the side quests with or other things. And then they also added Kairos Gate, which is 20 floors. Each floor has waves of enemies, certain stages have boss fights, and at any point if you die, then you have to restart at floor 1. But after each floor, you gain certain points where you can activate temporary effects, other effects that will last you the whole run, you know, as long as you can go for. And there's a very tricky challenge that you can try and go for as well, where if you get an S rank on every single stage leading up to floor 20, you get a secret boss. But that is no small challenge. That's a very tricky thing to accomplish. It was a really good DLC in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. But that was all I played that month in terms of new releases. I didn't really play anything else, though I did play a couple older games as well, starting with Final Fantasy 9. Now this is probably my favorite Final Fantasy game of them all. I haven't played them all, but I have played the majority of them, and it would have to be this or 10. But the difference this time is that I actually tried to get the Platinum Trophy. Well, I did get the Platinum Trophy. I made a video afterwards saying, are Platinum Trophies worth it? Because this whole experience made me question why I ever went for it in the first place. Again, I love this game, but it has definitely reminded me why I don't get Platinum Trophies, even on games that I genuinely love. Even if I love a game, I don't want to be jumping a rope 1,000 times in a row. Even if I love a game, I don't want to have to kill 10,000 enemies when a whole playthrough, even a playthrough where you grind every single party member to max level, you're not even going to come close to killing 10,000 enemies. Getting a platinum trophy normally takes the fun out of something that you would otherwise enjoy. The thing is, the reason I replayed this game is because it had just been a few years and I wanted to replay it. It was as simple as that. But the grindy trophies kind of soured that experience a little bit. So next time I want to platinum a game, I'm going to make sure beforehand what kind of trophies I'll have to get if I want that platinum. But the game itself is amazing. The characters, the areas, the music. This time around I made more use of Quina, who is a blue mage. Basically, they can learn abilities by eating enemies that are low on HP in battle. So Quina can become very OP, and I never really used them in other playthroughs before this, but they quickly became a very useful character all the way up until the very end of the game. The whole playthrough. Not to mention, Quina is one of the best characters. They have the most funniest moments in the entire game. I would recommend this to anybody that has played the series but hasn't played this specific game. I know some people don't play games that are outdated graphically, but if you can get past that, it's seriously a really good game. The next game I played during this month was Fallout 3. Now, I haven't finished this game either. This is actually a series that is going on my second channel currently. So if you're interested in watching me play a Fallout game for the first time, you can see it there. I'm really enjoying it so far. Obviously, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of different things that I don't know about the game. Currently, I'm just going around doing side quests. I did some main quest recently. Yeah, I did Tranquility Lane, that whole main quest. And I'm just going around doing whatever the hell I can find, really. Constantly being destroyed by Talon Company, who keep following me around no matter where I go. They're just there with every kind of weapon that you don't want to see them have. I think it was the video before the last, I went around the corner and there was just someone there with an RPG. But it's a fun game, and I can definitely see why some people have played these games for as long as they have, like so many different playthroughs, because I imagine there's quite a lot of different things you can do with the karma system, like playing a good character or a bad character depending on what you feel like doing. I am already interested in playing the game again, but just being a complete menace. Blowing up Megaton, I did not do that my first playthrough, but I found out you can blow up Megaton. I ended up just killing Buck when I found out that he wanted me to do that. I just beat him up in the corner. But I do want to do a playthrough where I blow Megaton up. I want to do a playthrough where I just kill NPCs in Tranquility Lane. Instead of shutting down the system, I want to go through with what Betty asks you to do. I already want to do a second playthrough where I do all of that stuff, but I can see where so much replayability comes in with this game. I plan on playing Fallout 3 and then Fallout New Vegas pretty much straight after, which is apparently the better game out of Fallout 3, and actually one of the better games in the series from what I've heard, so I'm looking forward to that. And I think the last game that I played this month was Crash of the Titans. So I ended up replaying Crash of the Titans this month because my girlfriend, it's the only Crash game that she's ever played, which is funny because it's definitely not one of the best. But we replayed it, we played it in co-op mode, and again, I don't dislike this game. It's a pretty good game, in my opinion, but you know, at the time when it came out, I played it a lot, but I think it came out in 2007, so I was 7 or 8 years old, and I enjoyed it. I played it a lot back then, I've played it a lot over the years, and I've always just thought it was pretty good. Like, it's just nothing amazing. There's loads of areas where you're just forced to kill a bunch of titans over and over and over again. The boss fights in this game completely suck, except for one, and that's Uka Uka. The Uka Uka boss fight is quite challenging. You know, the Battler is one of the only titans in that boss fight where you have to wind up its attack to do a bunch of damage on Uka Uka. The problem is, while you're winding up, he will just always destroy your titan, always, without fail. But that's a good boss fight. All the others suck. Again, there's tons of areas where you just have to fight titans before they remove the magic barrier and you can move forward. But I've always enjoyed the game enough to play it every now and then. Collecting the skins by hijacking a certain amount of each titan at least gives you some incentive, just something to look forward to when you get trapped in an area and you just have to fight titans over and over and over again. But after replaying it, all I could think was, you know, in 2007, whenever this game came out, I can definitely look at through the eyes of a Crash fan at the time, someone that grew up with the PS1 games. Again, it never bothered me because I didn't grow up with the PS1 Crash games. I grew up with Nitro Kart, Wrath of Cortex, Twinsanity. Every one of those games is completely different. So when Titans came out and it was completely different, I didn't really give a shit. I just enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, and I really liked the Titans. But I can imagine as a Crash fan that was old enough at the time that they had played the PS1 games, I can imagine them being quite disappointed with Titans. Overall though, again, replayed the game, my opinion hasn't really changed since I reviewed them on my Crash channel. It's still a pretty good game. I'd say it's more fun in co-op mode as well. as opposed to going through it solo. But that being said, that was all the games that I played this month. You can let me know down below what games you played this month. And of course, you can always leave recommendations. Fallout 3 was a recommendation. So many people have been telling me to play Fallout games, and I just decided to start with Fallout 3. The funniest, all the comments on my videos are like, you should have started with Fallout New Vegas. And then other people are like, you should have played Fallout 4. No one's saying I should have played Fallout 76. And I'm getting a few recommendations to maybe go back to Fallout 1 and 2. If I can get past how those... I've not even really looked into those games. But apparently they're very different. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all in my next video.